Hi, welcome along to Barbecue Life UK, where great barbecue doesn't have to cost a fortune. Today we're starting off a trio of videos for around Christmas, and we're starting off with the centrepiece, a turkey. So I picked up a frozen turkey from the local supermarket. I did ask the local butchers, but they're not doing the fresh ones yet because we're still sort of first week in November when I'm cooking this, ready to edit and things, ready for Christmas. So I've got a frozen turkey I picked up from Morrison's. It's a small turkey, it's 3.4 kilo. That's what it weighed. It cost me 16 quid, and it's ideal for our family of 5, which is what we've got, and we still had some left over afterwards after having a full pre-Christmas dinner. So, I've got this turkey. I've defrosted it for a couple of days in the fridge, and then the first thing I wanted to do is get it into a brine. So I spoke to the Rusty Barbecue Company, and they sent me out one of the brining kits, exactly the same as they were last year. So you get all your dry ingredients for your brine and a dry rub. You also get your brining bag and a cable tie to seal that brining bag. So off of camera, well, I've filmed a few little bits, but I've not done the full process of brining it on camera. So what I did was I mixed up the brining kit in a jug, bit by bit, because there's quite a lot of dry ingredients with your sugars, your salts and your flavours. So I mixed it up bit by bit in a jug to make up 2 litres of solution, which I've put into the bottom of the bag, and I've added my turkey in there. And then the instructions say to just keep filling that bag until the turkey is completely covered. So when I've started mixing this brine solution into the water, you can really start to have the smells come out, and the first smell that really comes out of there is a nice orangey citrusy smell, which is going to work wonderfully with this turkey. So I ended up using 5.5 litres of water in total. If I'd have thought about this sensibly, I should have put the bag with the turkey inside a washing up bowl, because I needed something with higher sides. I'll put it into a baking tray, and the water just wanted to try and spill out the top, not out the top of the bag, but out the top of the tray, so I wasn't getting the volume up that I needed to. So I've got some ice packs and I'll wedge them in and around just to help push that water in. Got all the air out of the bag as much as I can, and cable tied it shut at the top, and it was just covering the top of the turkey, so that's given me that nice solution all the way around to flavour this bird. Now again, the instructions say to brine for 18 to 24 hours, but as this was only a small turkey, I went for a 12-hour brine and it worked out okay. If you're doing a medium turkey, then go for the 18, and then larges and extra larges up to the 24. So 12 hours later, we've got it ready. It's been sitting in that brine all night. So what we want to do is we need to get the water out of that bag, and we need to dry out our turkey. So all I did was I snipped the corner off the bag and I let the water drain down the sink. And then once I'd got all the water out, tipped the turkey up, because you've got a lot of water still sitting inside the cavity of the turkey. Tipped that up on its end and I had more water come out and poured it out of the bag. And just by snipping that corner off, it keeps that process a little less splashy, I suppose is the best word. I was just able to have it go straight down the plug hole rather than cutting that cable tie in the bag and trying to pour that big volume of 5.5 litres of water out of the bag. So once I've got all that water out, I took the turkey out. I put it onto a cooling rack over the roasting pan that I had it in originally. And by doing this, it just lets the air completely circulate all the way around that turkey, because we need to dry it out. So once I've got it on that cooling rack, I just went on with some paper towel and I just gently dabbed the top just to get as much of the excess water off the top of it as I can, and I put it back in the fridge for 8 hours. And as I say, what this does is it completely dries out that skin, and that is how we're going to get a real crispy skin on the bird, is making sure that it's completely dry before we go any further. So my next point of call after that drying out time is to spatchcock it, because it is the best way to cook a bird. It evens out your cooking time between your breast and your thighs and legs. It cooks much quicker. It is the way forwards with birds. I've done it with chickens a million times, and there's no reason for it not to work with a turkey, which is why I've decided to spatchcock it. The only difference between a chicken and a turkey is the fact that the bones in the turkey are considerably more dense. So I first of all went in with a pair of scissors, and as you can see, it's not going to cut through them big rib bones further down the bird. So ideally you want a nice sharp knife, find the joints where they join the spine and cut through there and take that spine out. So once you've taken that spine out, the next thing you need to do is put a little cut in the wishbone down the end, and this is just going to help that break so that we can flatten the bird out. So get it out nice and flat and push down just to really split that breastbone out and get it as flat as possible. Arrange your legs and your wings, tuck them in, and then leave it back out to carry on drying out. So I left it again for another hour just to make sure that it was completely dry, because there was a little bit of moisture from inside the cavity that's worked its way on the outside of the bird. Ideally I should have spatchcocked it before I put it on the drying rack in the fridge, but I didn't really think. So that is, if I was going to change anything about this cook, that is what I would change. I would spatchcock it before I put it in the fridge for drying out. So we've got that set up on the side. You may notice that I've not used the dry rub. That is because I'm going to be doing a butter basted turkey. So my dry rub, I've put that in a saucepan with half a block of butter, and I've just melted that butter down, used about a third of the dry rub that comes in the bag, and just mix that through to flavour the butter. And we're just going to brush that over the top of the bird rather than putting the dry rub on there and then putting the butter on, which is just going to wash the dry rub off. I wanted to flavour the butter with the rub. So we've got that bird drying out again for that last hour, as I say, and we need to get our Kamado lit. So I'm just going in with a couple of wax woodies, get it lit. We want to get it up to around 180 to 200 degrees C, because that is going to give us a really nice temperature for getting the skin nice and crispy. It's going to get this bird cooked through nice and quickly. So now that our charcoal is established, this would normally be the point that we would add smoking wood, but I don't use any smoking wood when I'm cooking turkey because I find it overpowers the meat. So I'm just going to get my deflector plate in place. So we've got it set up, we've got our temperatures all dialed in. So take our turkey, pop it onto the grill grate, and as you can see, a small turkey is ideal for fitting on this size grill. If you went to a medium, you might just fit it on, but a large spatchcock is not going to fit on the AK. So we've got that on there. Now we just want to go on with that butter that I mentioned earlier. Just going to brush that all over the skin, all the way over, infusing that flavour into the skin and adding that fat, which is going to help crisp our skin up. So ideally, about every 30 to 40 minutes, we just want to keep coming back and rebasting that bird. So that's what I did every 30 minutes. I'm back out here just with a brush and that butter. I'll keep warm inside and then just brush over again and just keep going until the bird is cooked through. So to monitor my temperatures, I use the Inkbird IBT 4XS. That's my go-to thermometer for when I'm doing cooks like this, where I really need to keep an eye on internals. I'll leave a link in the description through to Amazon on there, and I will get a small kickback if you was to buy from that link, and it just helps me fund the channel further. While we're on the subject of the channel, if you're not a subscriber, then please do hit that subscribe button. If you've made it this far into the video, then you're obviously really interested in what I'm saying, so make sure that you hit that like button and leave me a comment underneath letting me know what you most love about the Barbecue Life UK YouTube channel. So back to this bird. So as I say, every 30 minutes we're just going to keep coming out and basting it and basting it and basting it, and after about an hour and a half you can see that the skin has really started to golden up. It's getting a really nice colour to it, and it's just starting to crisp. We're just going to keep again on with that process, just keep buttering it and buttering it, and after 2.5 hours our turkey is done. So that is cooked completely through up to 74 degrees, which is safe for poultry, and then we want to take it out and let it rest. Resting is most important when you are cooking meat. You need to pull it out of the smoker and just leave it to the side to rest. It lets all the juices in there redistribute. If you carve it too early, all of the juice is just going to run out, and that is how you're going to end up with a dry bird. We don't want a dry bird. You spend all that time getting the moisture in there by doing your brine. You do not want to be having it all flow back out again now. So I've covered mine very loosely in tin foil and left it to rest for 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, it is time to give it a carve, and as you can see, it is beautifully moist all the way through that breast. The skin's nice and crisp, which is exactly what we want. Now, we've not got a taste test today because I've cooked it into the evening, and by the time it was finished, it is absolutely pitch black out in the shack, and I've not bothered to sort the lighting out in here since I moved it earlier on this year. So that is something definitely on my to-do list, to get the lighting sorted out. So if I do cook into the evenings, you are going to be able to still have the taste test at the end. I can absolutely assure you that this turkey tasted gorgeous. It's got some real nice Christmas flavours right the way through the meat without things being too overpowering. You could definitely still taste the turkey, and just them small enhancement of Christmassy flavours from the brine. The skin's gorgeous. It's taken on a lovely flavour from that butter, and that is ideal for butter basting a turkey. Just flavouring that butter and basting it on. So if you like what we're doing here at Barbecue Life UK, then please do subscribe to the channel. There's 2 more Christmas videos coming in the future. I'm not going to tell you what they are. You're going to have to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out. One part is a part to go with your main, and the third part is a dessert that you're not going to want to miss out on, because it is awesome. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like that video, make sure you leave me a comment, because it means so much to the channel to do all those 3 things, and it really helps us grow. Thank you very much for watching.